right, and for our third and final topic of segment 1, the Rifter number 18, we are going to talk about the Coalition Bioweapons Division. Now, I don't like disclaimers. I don't use disclaimers, but I'm just going to tell you right now, if you're creeped out by chemical and biological warfare, this is not the video for you. Now, if you want to add this to your game as a potent threat, even if you don't incorporate it directly, then this is the episode for you, because we're going to get into some nasty, nasty stuff right now. All right. Scroll down here. What page is that nonsense on? It's towards the end, wasn't it? 68. So, all right. Oh, wait, hold on. I got notes here because I'm not reading this whole thing. Let me get my notes to find out exactly what I'm reading. There we go. I forgot. This is pretty long. It basically gives the history of a lady who's like, I'm bored. Can I join this division over here? Maybe we could find some ways of curing some stuff, or I don't know, making people feel bad about life. And they're like, sure, why not? And the Prosec agreed, or Mr. Prosec agreed to that. So it says, page 69, read paragraph 3. There you go. At first, yep. So I'll be reading 3 paragraphs here. At first, it appeared that the Prosecs have made a colossal blunder. For months, the new Bioware division yielded little in the way of results. They made absolutely no progress towards the harnessing of alien microbes for their military uses. Nada. Nothing. Another fit of weekend boredom, Doctor, if that was actually written in Russian, I'd be able to read it better than
Raskolnikov.
Raskolnikov, more frustrated than ever and perplexed by the sheer incomprehensibility of some of the organisms, decided to mix the alien organisms with things she was more familiar with. Human germs. What happens if I take some space germs and mix it with human germs? Oh, gotta love the Coalition.
That sounds like the beginning of The Stand. That's what it sounds like. Like, it's going to be bad. That's going to be horrible.
Well, stored in the biocontainment vaults of the BD facility were samples of just about every infectious disease known to man. It was in Atlanta? And quite a few were unknown. She spliced these ordinary human viruses and bacteria with some carefully selected alien microbes. Carefully selected alien, whatever they could get their hands on.
No, she flipped a coin.
She did, right? The results were unpredictable, but at least they were results. This is Wuhan. This was the breakthrough everyone had been waiting for. After this innovation, work progressed at lightning pace. Why not? And still continues to do so. Since then, Raskolnikov and her team have perfected several alien-human germ hybrids into viable biowarfare strains that look as if they might make the Coalition very happy in years to come. The research and development of Coalition bioweapons is still in its infancy, but optimistic estimates anticipate the CS could implement full-scale biowarfare program in less than 6 years. That is not the that I wanted to read that, but there's one part, and maybe I'll get to it in a bit. Page 71. Oh, hold on. There are some OCCs in here. We'll look at them really quickly. I'm unlike Heathen Dog, since I don't know a lot about the OCCs. I don't always know what the most important thing is about them, but there is a CS Biowarfare Division operative OCC. This is a Rifter, so I don't care.
Well, plus, this is obviously an NPC OCC.
There we go.
Because no one is going to look at all the OCCs and Rifts and go, you know what? I want to be a biowarfare doc.
That was kind of my point. I know there are Coalition books out there. I'm not saying never, ever, ever play the Coalition or anything like that. What I am saying is, like, why would you want to be, I'm a scientist. I work in the field, and we mix genes together. That just doesn't seem
sound like fun to play in a role-playing game to me.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So 71 says what the Coalition needed was biological cybernetics. So that's viral warfare agents. Okay. So now we're going to actually get into the agents. Again, I don't have the time to read all of these, but they're going to be broken down between viral, bacterial, something else. We'll get to it in a moment. Here we go. Doesn't tell me how many paragraphs to read. Oh, nope, I can see it right now. It's just this paragraph. What the Coalition needed was biological weapons that would affect a variety of species, but that humans would be resistant to.
Okay, now, the main word there is resistant.
Yep.
The coalition is willing to have a certain percentage of the population die as long as the rest of them would live, and it would kill off all the dirty DBs. There's a certain level of cost that we are willing to pay.
And so that's why now he's focusing on the word resistant. I was focusing for the purposes of explaining why would the coalition want to do this? Well, we know the coalition are human supremacists, right? Well, here we go. This is the paragraph that says that but humans would be resistant to it. And Heathendog's right. By focusing on that word, when we look at the diseases and so forth, you're going to find out that, well, resistance is the best word you could use for that. They needed bioweapons that would be effective in a relatively short time hours instead of days. Oh, that should have been a space there. Time, hours instead of days. They needed fast-acting, non-species specific germs. It took years for the coalition scientists to adapt the human germ splice with alien microorganisms to inhuman hosts. Long years of frustrating research that are now, or just now, beginning to pay off. So what year is this? I don't know. Now, it's going to talk about delivery mechanisms and so forth, and I think that's the apropos picture for today. This is what happens when chemical and biological agents.
Yeah, see, I have to say this. Chemical agents, I can understand. They're horrific, and even I wouldn't use them. And I have a monstrously small conscience, but even I wouldn't use them. But I can understand them because they have a much less probability of getting out of control. But this whole mixing human viruses and bacteria with alien stuff and let's let it loose on Earth, that I've seen all those movies and they've always been bad. It's always bitten you in the ass on the way out. So I can't get behind that stuff. But
yeah, I mean, chemical weapons stay in an area for a while and then
they
disperse.
Dissipate. Yeah.
My neighbor is trying to get shot. I'll be in Minnesota going to court. All right. So it says I'm supposed to read all this, but I got to be honest with you, I don't really want to. The main thing in here is that there are a lot of rules when it comes down to the infection and recovery, and there's a lot of reasons for that. There are going to be some terms in a moment, because when you are dealing with diseases, these are the things to consider, not just if your character is infected, but how it spreads.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to go into it. If you want to know more about it, if this intrigues you, get this Rifter. It's very detailed, but also, like in typical Palladium fashion, offers a framework that you can adjust as you need. So then it talks about, it gives in the terms here. Now, there's only one I'm going to pay attention to. The rest, I think we can figure out just by looking at the disease. It's this first one here. Whenever the word effectiveness is used in conjunction with the following diseases, it usually means the roll of percentile die. For example, when it says that a certain vaccine has 75% effectiveness against the bacteria, that means that when administering a dose of drug, the character has to roll percentile. 0, 1 to 75 means drug was effective, and 76 to 100 means that it was ineffective. So, does not cure the disease, does nothing other than add a +1 bonus to all future saving throws against the disease made in the next 24 hours.
That's something.
Yeah, I'm just going to be upfront with you. I did a couple of test rolls with this stuff, and just using normal characters, like a normal kind of person with no pluses or minuses to PE or anything like that, sure. Every one of my characters survived every disease. I was a little disappointed with that.
Oh,
now, let me
if you're the character.
Well, that's fair. Now, to be fair, I said every disease I rolled for. I only rolled for a couple of each category because I didn't have time for everything. But I wanted to look at it, and you'll find out why in a moment. So, let's take a look at there. So there are a couple I want to take a look at specifically. Okay, 73. This first one. So, Congo Crimean hemorrhagic dementia fever, or just called the bloody laughter. Anything that's called the bloody laughter, I'm not sure is so funny.
Yeah, it's either a really, really Norwegian metal band, or it's bad. Oh, actually, or both.
Congo Crimean. So you're talking middle of Africa and damn near Siberia. Ukraine, right? So, what? Also referred to as the Chuckles. This is a radically re-engineered and highly infectious hemorrhagic fever that is designed to incapacitate an enemy with madness. The onset of infection is characterized by fever, lethargy, and an odd taste in the mouth. Blood. It's a little odd. Internal hemorrhaging causes blood to well up in the throat and leak from the mouth like drool. Gross.
Wow.
Whenever the victim tries to talk, all that comes out is an unintelligible gurgle. This disease is also accompanied by compulsive laughter. It's not that the victim thinks anything's funny. This is just an irresistible natural compulsion, like a sneeze, or like the urge to scratch oneself when he has an itch. The victim cannot help laughing. In non-human DBs and monsters, it may be difficult to tell that the creature is laughing. After all, what would a laughing rhino buffalo look like? Good. And may appear to the player characters to be merely convulsing loudly.
Or has rabies.
Well, it's blood, not white, so I don't know. Despite all the chuckles, the victim of bloody laughter is actually undergoing a horrible ordeal. You think? He's bleeding from the mouth. What else? I need to know.
No, actually, it starts in the throat, so I imagine breathing is not awesome either.
He's bombarded by terrifying images from the pit of his subconsciousness. As long as the victim attempts to remain calm and is under no other stress, he will be able to resist the terror inspired by these images. Attempts to remain calm. It's okay, buddy. Unfortunately, the victim will not be able to maintain concentration and calmness during the strain of combat. The nightmare images will get the better of him. Every round the victim participates in combat, you have to roll against a horror factor of 12. A failed roll means that the character is momentarily paralyzed with terror and unable to take any action for that melee round other than running in some random direction. Also, the victim will develop 1d4 random insanities. That's great. Every hour thereafter, the victim will develop one or more random insanity, ignoring insanities that the victim has already acquired.
Roll again. Roll again. Roll again.
Under all this mental duress, the victim's personality will fracture into several other distinct personalities.
Oh my God! Psychoses too? Jesus Christ.
Roll on the multiple personalities table starting at step 1. This disease lasts for 5d6 hours or until a successful saving throw is rolled. After recovery, the victim's full sanity will be restored gradually over 2d6 times 10 minutes. So the incubation period is a d4 hours. So you're not even going to know you have it for a d4 hours. A good game master rolls this and doesn't tell the players anything until crap starts.
Yep.
Infectiousness, -3 to the victim's saving throws. Virulence, 8. Now, this was one of the tough ones. I actually succeeded my saving throw on this one by rolling a natural 20. Because this one, you only get to roll once every 8 hours. And all that other crap is happening in the meantime.
Yeah. Your laundry list of ever-increasing insanities is going to happen during those 8 hours.
Right. Damage, none. Method of delivery, any. We'll talk very quickly about methods of delivery. And now the after effects, I'm not going to use that word. It was a sequelae. There's a 15% chance that one of the insanities or extra personalities will persist for 1d6 times 10 days despite all treatments. I was a little disappointed that that one of them wasn't permanent. Since it was only a 15% chance, I was kind of disappointed that it wasn't 15% chance that one would have been permanent, but whatever. Despite all the treatments, medications, spells that are used in an attempt to cure the lingering affliction.
Just lock them in a room for a week or two, or fine.
Well, 2 months. It could be up to 2 months.
Okay, fine. Coma. Put them in a coma.
So, all right. Virulence means how often you roll to make a saving throw, Kokushuko. Now, again, we are not looking at all of these. We're going to go to page 76, and we're going to talk. Yeah. Oh, by the way, there's smallpox. There's a plague. Hey, why not have a little petri dish there?
Sure.
Venezuelan equine encephalitis. So you have South
beautiful.
American horse something.
Sounds great.
Yeah, no. Yep. So if you want to read more about those, bacterial warfare agents. Now, I'm not going to read you what bacteria are. If you didn't learn that in science class, I don't know what to tell you. So the one I wanted to read is on page 79. I thought this had a very Rifts connotation to it. Magic reactive Q fever.
Okay.
So Ordinary terrestrial Q fever was thought to be a dead end in the world of biowarfare. It was very infectious, but it had an almost non-existent fatality rate and was only mildly debilitating.
Aw.
One lone CS scientist saw it in its possibilities that no one else saw. She bred a significantly new strain of the fever and crossed it with an alien microorganism that likewise no one can figure out a use for. If you can't figure out a use for something that's alien, merge it with some bacteria.
Some other useless thing and see if you win the genetic jackpot.
Together, they make an effective anti-magic preventative agent. What is something that could be used in Heathen Dog segment coming up soon?
That sounds great.
It is positively devastating against magic users and magic-using creatures.
Oh, no, tell me more.
The onset of magic reactive Q fever is characterized by chest pain, fever, weakness, loss of appetite, and chills. Okay, you got to have some physical stuff, right? The victim is...
I had worse stuff when I had COVID.
Fair. The victim is -1 on all rolls of a physical nature and has PE temporarily lowered by 2 points, which will affect possibly your saving throws.
Yeah.
In the system of a creature that does not use magic, this is all the effect has. That's it. Nothing
Okay,
more.
you have the flu. Yeah. All right.
In the body of someone who is a magic user, the bacteria also remains relatively inactive until the creature attempts to cast a spell or otherwise use PPE. Whenever a spell is cast, the expended PPE energizes the bacteria, which flare up explosively, causing damage to the host body.
Wow. Internal nanobombs.
Right? For every point of PPE spent, the host body receives 2 points of SDC damage.
Wow.
Or MD damage to mega damage creatures.
Oh my God. I need more of this. I need canister after canister of this stuff.
This damage will not heal until the disease has run its course. That's an important point. You're not healing this until you're cured from it. The supernatural accelerated healing factors such as bioregeneration are suspended for the duration of the infection.
Oh, that is devastating to regenerating creatures. They rely on that much more than you think they do.
Magical or psionic attempts at healing a character afflicted with magic reactive Q fever will only heal half as many hit points as it normally would.
Okay.
In addition, there's a 15% chance that the spell cast by the victim will not work at all, the PPE having been totally absorbed by the bacteria. Now, what's an average spell PPE cost?
Oh, if it's low level, it could be 2 to 5.
Okay.
But mid or high level, you're talking 100 to 600, 1200. So if someone is infected with this and they try to say open up a rift, they're just gonna pop into baloney mist. That's it.
Right. Whenever a host activates this bacteria by expending PPE, it lights up very brightly and briefly, like the pop of a flashbulb. Yes. Ian, what are your thoughts on that disease?
I love this. That I need this in my life. I need this. Oh my God. I mean, this scientist who made this better have so many medals on his chest that he can't stand upright. She, fair enough. She has so many medals on her chest that she cannot stand upright. This is the most amazing thing since sliced bread. I love it.
So now the disease lasts for 2d6 days or until a successful saving throw is... Oh, this is the one. Yeah, wait till we get to saving throw for this one. This disease is not bioengineered to have a weakened effect on humans. Why? Because the coalition doesn't like magic users.
No. It's just a flu or a really bad cold. Get over it.
Yep. And humans do not enjoy the same +2 bonus to their saving throws against as they do with other biowarfare viruses and bacteria. Yes, I didn't talk about that before. I knew this was coming up. So yes, humans get a +2 to all their saving throws against the other.
Because they were made to be resistant to all these things. Humans
a couple of them actually give even a higher bonus for humans.
Nice.
Bonus saving throws they do. Okay, so onset incubation period 46 minutes.
Oh my God, it is immediately battlefield ready. You just cover the battlefield with this. 46 minutes later, all their spellcasters their heads start popping like a child popping dandelions.
Here's the other important part. Not curable by ordinary antibiotics. If you read the other ones, or not the other ones, but if you read the deeper, the lower portion that I'm skipping, you're going to find out that most antibiotics, if you have it on you, can help resist the effects or cure the effects before it happens. You can inoculate yourself or cure it if it's a bacteria, right?
Sure.
Nope, not with this one, because remember, this is a bacteria. You'd think you'd be able to cure it with some penicillin. Nope.
No.
Can you read that super chat, please?
To not be curable because the people we care about will just suffer through it.
Can you go ahead and put up that super chat?
Oh, sure. CPK asks, can this be tweaked to only affect demons, devils, alien intelligences? If the way this book seems to be presented is if you get a genetic sample from a species, I'm sure you could make a tailored version. I'm sure you could. And as a game master, I definitely would make that happen. But I'm also sure it would take time, years even, to do something like that.
I would say your table, your rules. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know how immediately effective it would be.
Yeah, ultimately, your table, your rules, but I'd also say part of the horror of biological warfare is that it is hard to contain. And I think that if you contain it, if you contain it to that point, while I agree with what you're trying to put out there, I think that you kind of I don't want to say miss the point, but that's the terms I'm going to use. Miss the point of what it means to use a biological agent like that. Yeah, I know, like what Stargate and Star Trek like to say. Hey, this is only going to affect this certain group. So I don't see that it's a definitive no. But I agree with Heathen Dog on it should take time with lots of failures. So, all right. Now. -2 penalty to victim saving throw. Now look at this nonsense.
Virulence 24.
You can only roll
saving throws once per 24 hours.
Yep.
Oh, that means if you fail to save, you don't get another shot for a whole 24 hours. And there's no way to stop it until you make that save. You are battlefield dead if you are a magic using creature. You are battlefield inactive. I want more of this. I want all this.
Damage method of delivery, any except infector. Again, we'll gloss. I don't know if we'll look at the infector, but we'll gloss over them at the end. So what is the end result? There's a lingering chance of a magical misfire for quite some time after the main effects of the magic reactive Q fever have passed. For the next 1d4 months. Every time the victim attempts to cast a spell, otherwise use PPE. Notice that.
Otherwise use.
There's a 5% chance the spell will not work. In those 5% cases, the caster has to roll a successful saving throw versus magic, or the spell misfires. PPE is spent, but there is no spell. Oh, I was hoping for an actual.
I was hoping for another boom, but okay, yeah. I get it. That's fine.
So
that is the awesomest thing ever. Oh my God.
I knew you'd like that one. So that's why I had to do
great. I'm going to use that in every single Rifts campaign. It's going to be the vehicle to coalition victory in all of my campaigns.
And then we're not going to read it, but Wolfen, hematometic. Yeah, cholera. Yeah. So,
cholera is great. Yeah, you're going to love this.
Well, no, we're not going to talk about that one. We're moving on. There's too many here. We have to look at, we've got one more. So biological toxins and poisons. Now, I think you understand how the difference of viruses are, virulence. Viral agents are viruses. Bacterial agents are bacteria, right? Now we're going to talk about biological toxins, poison substances. This is more of the chem warfare stuff. This is like your funguses and your VX gas and so forth. And I want to look at SEB. Why did I pick SEB? I don't know. But, get aconite, botulinum, whatever the hell that is, antimony salt, whatever ricin, something I like to mention a lot. Myco T2, that's a very rifty thing. Okay, but we're going to do this one.
Staphylococcal enterotoxin B.
Yeah, I can't even say it now. Staphylococcal enterotoxin B, the fastest acting of all the CS toxins. SEB is the one usually found in the CS Mister weapon. Again, that'll be one of the ways of infecting people, since its effects are virtually instantaneous.
Awesome.
Poisoning by SCB causes intense pain, particularly at the point of contact with the poison. If the victim gets sprayed in the face with SCB, he'll be in anguish and stunned for 1d4 rounds, -4 on all 5, on all rolls. No saving throw. No saving throw.
No saving throw. You're just clutching your face, going, oh my God, what did you do?
1d4 rounds later, after recovering from the stunning symptoms of SCB poisoning, develop immediately. There's an onset of high fever, up to 106.
That's just you cooking.
Yes. By the way, people can live up to about 110 sometimes.
But your brain doesn't like that.
Your brain doesn't like it. Ask anybody who's had their brain cook on ecstasy. After it was, I think it's at 104, they put you in cold baths.
Yeah.
So chills, headache, awful muscle tenderness, dry cough, shortness of breath, and extreme chest pain. The victim's speed is reduced by 25%, only 25, and PS and PP are reduced by 10%. A penalty of -3 is imposed to their strike and dodge rolls. -2 penalty on initiative. By the way, just before somebody asks a question, if your physical prowess lowers that dodge penalty, that'll be -3 on top.
It's additive. It is cumulative effect.
Exactly. If the poison was squirted in the eyes, that sounds lovely. The victim must roll an additional saving versus poison or be blinded for 3d4 hours. Really, just hours? Sure. The debilitating effects of SCB poisoning last for approximately 2 hours or until a successful saving throw is rolled. This one's pretty easy to save, though. Now, it says -4 to victim saving throw, but you're rolling once every 15 minutes.
Yeah, but, since it's so instantaneous, it's going to be administered during the fight. So
right, yeah.
I don't know how many fights last more than 15 minutes in Rifts. I haven't experienced any.
I look at it as a great subdual. It's not a killer, it's a subdual.
No, it won't kill you, but it'll either make your enemy much easier to kill or rout them immediately.
Exactly. Method of delivery: the mister, the fumigator, or by contamination of the victim's food or water supply. A 50% chance that the fever will last 1d4 plus 1 days. 40% chance that the cough will persist for 5d6 days.
If 106-degree fever lasts 1d4 plus 1 days, if you're technically human, you're dead. You're done. Just give up your character. You're done.
All right. Note: heavy exposure to SCB. Hey, can you give me a little more of that? Can cause coma. Drinking more than 1.5 liters of contaminated water has an 85% chance of sending the victim into convulsive stupor, in which no action is possible for 1d4 times 10 minutes.
Okay, see, I was wondering why it said water supply. That'd be stupid because it doesn't last very long. So it wouldn't make any one combat ineffective for very long, but large amounts would, really, really freak out an encampment of dirty DBs.
All right. So these are the ways of delivering it. You have the CS infector. It's one of the standard ways biological weapons. The infector is a tube 3 feet long and about the thickness of a flashlight, with a lens at one end and a computer targeting sight on the other. It's extremely heavy for its size. It projects a powerful ultra-tight laser beam of less than a quarter-inch thickness by less than a quarter of the thickness of a human hair to a distance of about 200 feet. This beam by itself causes no damage, but it is powerful enough to pass through heavy-duty MDC materials like body armor, power armor, and the skin of supernatural MDC creatures. If that's the case, why don't you just up the power of that thing and just zap them on the inside? I'm just saying. The beam will pass through just about anything in its path, through the power armor a person is wearing, and consequently through the body of the person in the armor. On this tiny beam of light is carried a few germs of biological warfare virus, which are released into the bloodstream of the first organic being that the beam encounters.
That is an amazing. Again, there's someone else out there with a chest so full of metals that they can't walk properly.
So, few germs on there. This is basically a long-range injector.
Yes. And since it does no damage, you may not even know you've been infected. If someone does this to you from behind, you're not going to know.
So what a lot of people probably don't know is I have to give myself monthly injections, and says the beam is so tiny that those who are hit by it may not even feel it. Well, there's some tricks I can do to make that the injections I give myself I don't feel, but I still know I'm doing it. This is so tiny, you don't feel it. Yeah. So, all right. You got the puffer. Again, I told you we're not going to read all of these. You have the fumigator, the mister, It just spurts out a mist.
Smaller fumigator.
And then it's got some decon and field kits in here. The safe suit, by the way, that bug operator gets a safe suit.
Of course, yeah.
So
duh.
And there you go. Yeah, I didn't cover all that at the bottom, but you know what? Get there. If you like this concept,
I would buy this book just for that one drug.
I'm not gonna lie. I like it. No, not for the same reasons him, but I like when it comes to warfare stuff. I think maybe I get a little too particular about it, but I like things like this. At least the threat of it, where the characters have to think. We need to think this through. You know, maybe you need to carry the equivalent of a Mop 4, right? Because this might be used out there. And I'll be honest, if anybody has been in the military, you know, I mean, I can sleep in Mop 4, but I still struggle running in Mop 4. Okay.
I mean, people were complaining about, oh, my N95 mask, I can't wear it because I can't breathe with it. Then you've never actually put on a gas mask, because that shit is different.
Yeah. Shooting in a gas mask is different. I was trained to do it, but it doesn't mean that I was great at it. Things can be. The point is it does change the dynamic of a game a little bit. Well, I got a +6 to my aim shot. Well, guess what? Now you have +2. What? Yeah. And guess what? That juicer out there still has an auto dodge, because you're not used to fighting in that. Even if you train in it, you're still not going to be as good. I mean, I'm sure there's some people out there, but the point is that this can affect the battlefield in different ways. Just the threat of it, so you don't have to use this on all of your characters. And I think kind of using it on the characters is a dumb idea, barring them laughing at the concept. Oh, I'm not worried about chem warfare. If that happens, well, then we all die. Well, guess
then
what?
You all die.
Yeah.
There's another thing. If you are coming up on an enemy and the enemy is in full, an NBC gear, just tell your commanding officer that you left the oven on. and when he tries to shoot you in the back, he's the one who's going to get fumigated.
All right. Any oops, I don't know why the segment 1 thing isn't up. Oh, because I switched scenes. Any comments that from
Walter saying now's the time for the techno wizard medic to shine.
Yeah, well, literally shine.
Yeah, shine. Yeah, because he'll pop like a zit.
I know we got a super chat in there somewhere.
I already put it up.
The green one. The CPK has one. Can nanites weaken the disease?
Oh! Talking about the juicer stuff.
So yeah, unfortunately, what's this? Restream doesn't star those automatic. This one right here.
Okay, thank you. Can nanites weaken the disease? The juicer's medical nanites already give the juicer a really high bonus to resist all toxins, disease, and poison. So it will initially help, to just flat out your body say no to the virus or bacteria or whatever.
Oh my God.
But remember, some of these you get one shot, and then anywhere from 15 minutes to 24 hours before your next shot. So even if you're a juicer, I'm sorry, you don't get another shot. Your shot is better than most people, but you don't get one, especially if it says no saving throw.
Imagine a juicer that suffers all of those mental afflictions.
Oh,
you basically have a juicer crazy.
Nuts. You're already nutter butters, and now you have a multiple personality disorder with both personalities having 7 psychoses. That is, I'm switching sides.
So for the people out there, like, can you make a crazy juicer? Yes, just give him a disease.
Yeah, give him this toxin, and then just wait like an hour, and you'll have the biggest crazy juicer you ever wanted to have.
Yeah, so
it's not going to be fun.
I want to put this on the screen here. So this is where one of the kind of the debates of gaming come in. Historically, more soldiers died from illness rather than from direct combat. Here's the issue with this. You're right, but who wants to play in that game? Like some people like to say is like, I don't want to play the Oregon Trail, the role-playing game.
Right.
I am actually much more open to this stuff generally than he is, generally speaking. I like survival mechanics. I like having to fight the environment. I like having to deal with this. But even I recognize that some of the stuff that we are covering here is not something I would want on the regular. I would simply want it to be something that's a threat, and I want the players to take it seriously. If they take it seriously, I'm not going to mess with them too much about it. If they don't, that's when I bring it in.
Yeah. Yeah. You only have to bring it in once, because after that, the players are going to take it seriously all the time.
A magic juicer.
Oh yeah. Oh no, the mega juicer. That's right. Oh man, that guy's gonna blow sky high. Oh my god. Whoo. Oh, I can't even imagine that kind of explosion. That's gonna be rough. Yeah, he's a jack in the box, and you don't want to be around when the music stops.
All right. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. So let me get my thingy up here. Boom. Well, that was fun. It was disgusting, but it was fun. And I hope I picked ones out there for you guys to show you actually how devastating those things are. You know, we kind of joke about them here a little bit for the purpose of the game. What was that?
You picked one for me. So
yeah, I did. Well, I picked it because it seemed Rifts, very Rifts-ish. And then I do realize that Heathen Dog's going to love this one. So, yeah, but there are a lot more in there. A lot of some of the common ones like smallpox and so forth. Again, you know, humans get that bonus because the coalition found ways of making sure that this affects DBs and so forth more than humans. Let me know your thoughts. I get it. Right off the bat, I'm just going to say right now, I know nobody wants to play, you know, the Oregon Trail role-playing game. I understand that. But what are your thoughts of using this at all? Kevin put a big warning in the table of contents. So like, this is some stuff that could really mess up a game. Yeah, I suppose it could.
I agree.
How would you use this in your game to not mess it up but still show the importance of these? Would you use these? Or are you like, nope? Or are you balls to the wall, screw this, I want to show how evil the coalition is and I'm going to have this happen all over the place and now the players have to do something about it? That's, you know, who knows? But with that said, thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. Really, anybody you know out there that loves Rifts, that wants to either portray the coalition as the horrible guys, or if you're in the Heathen Dog camp here, where it's like you now know how to win some of those lingering wars that are coming up.
My segment coming up, that one drug would have won the whole thing. Yep. The whole, you know, coalition war campaign would have been one book, a pamphlet.
And for those watching the live stream, yes, for it coming up. For those who are watching this on video later, because I think I'm going to do his stuff before mine. Go back and watch his was it Siege on Tolkien, and could you imagine that Q? I already forgot bacteria. Boom, 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 boom. Tolkien just explodes.
Yeah.
So,
boom.
All right, guys. I hope to see everybody soon. Have a great day.